everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome to the back room. We are so pleased and delighted that you all are here today, so many of you. Quickly, I am Hank Philippi Ryan, your host for tonight. I'm the USA Today bestselling author of 13 novels of suspense, and I just sent in my 14th, so yay. Thank you. It is always such a relief. My current book is Her Perfect Life, which is so casually displayed, it's over here, I guess, so casually displayed behind me, just nominated for the Agatha Award for Best Novel of the Year. So that is great, and I thank you all so much for that. And let me introduce our authors tonight to you. Cara Black is our first author. Hey, Cara. Cara is in the back room of a bookstore in San Francisco. She is such a trooper. Cara Black writes the New York Times and USA Today bestselling Amy Leduc series, each set in a different arrondissement in Paris, as well as the standalone thriller 23 Hours in Paris. Her newest book is the 20th installment of the Leduc series. Do you have that with you, Cara? All right, I have it too if you don't. The 20th installment of the Leduc series, this one titled Murder at the Port of Versailles. She lives in San Francisco with her family and visits Paris frequently. Welcome, welcome, Cara, tonight to the back room. Kellye Garrett, our next author, is the author of the upcoming suspense novel Like a Sister, yay, about a Black woman in New York City looking into the mysterious overdose of her estranged reality star sister. She also wrote the Detective by Day mysteries, which won the Anthony, Agatha, and Lefty Awards, and they were a Today Show Best Summer Read. She serves on the Sisters in Crime and National Board and is co-founder of Crime Writers in Crime Writers of Color. I know it's Crime Writers of Color. I'm just thinking, hey, Kell, welcome.
Hi, you guys. My book comes out Tuesday, so I'm kind of nervous right now.
Your book comes out Tuesday, and you're hearing about it here first. You all are
spoiler, it's fantastic.
Yes,
it is.
As if we had to
really
tell you
good.
that. As if we had to tell you that. Catriona McPherson is the multi-award winning and best-selling author of 30 crime fiction novels. She was born in Scotland and lived there until immigrating to the US in 2010. She writes a traditional historical detective series, a contemporary humorous series, and standalone psychological thrillers. Her newest novel is, ta-da, The Mirror Dance, part of her award-winning Dandy Gilver series. And she's holding up her other books. Do that again, Catriona, so we can see them.
Hang on. There you go.
Somebody take a photo. Somebody take a screenshot of that.
No, don't take a photo of all those chins. No.
Catriona is former national president of Sisters in Crime. Our fourth author tonight is Ben Mezrich. Ben has published 24 books, including the New York Times bestsellers The Accidental Billionaires, which was adapted into the Academy Award-winning film The Social Network, and Bringing Down the House, which has sold more than 2 million copies in 15 languages and became the basis for the #1 box office hit 21. He shares a prestigious Scripter Award with Aaron Sorkin for Best Adapted Screenplay for The Social Network and is writer and producer for the hit TV show Billions. His newest novel is The Midnight Ride, which I have called Boston's Own Da Vinci Code. It is absolutely a page turner. Absolutely loved it. So we will start, as always, with our 20 questions. And I'm going to ask you these questions in the order that I see you. And that means we are starting with Ben first.
All righty.
Welcome, Ben. Here's your question. What is the first thing that you remember writing?
Wow. I wrote a book when I was 11 called John the Mouse, about a mouse who really liked cheese. That was the first thing that I wrote. Yeah.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I won like this little ribbon from some like local fair with it, and so I don't have the actual story, but I still have the ribbon somewhere. But yeah, it was the first thing that I wrote, and I remember it well.
It sounds very high concept, a mouse who likes.
I think it was the best one-line like description I've ever written. It was a mouse who liked cheese. I mean, you couldn't get more a motivation. You have what he wants. You have a whole thriller in that, right? So
absolutely. So I love that you saved the ribbon. All right, I wish we could read about that. Cara, your question.
Hank,
Yeah.
Are you a good singer?
Only in the shower, Hank. I think when someone asked me once, what did I really want to be? I wanted to be an opera singer, frustrated opera singer, but I just can't. I can't carry a tune in a paper bag. My father, on the other hand, could play piano by ear.
Ah.
It bypassed my generation.
Do you remember an aria that you envisioned yourself singing?
The one from Madame Butterfly. That one is just so. What is the name of that?
Unbildi. Yes,
And
exactly.
so, I try and sing. I'm totally off key, but I love that kind of, singing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're
Not me,
glad
though.
that you turned into being a writer. That's
you.
better for us. That's better for us. Okay, Kellye, your question is, are you superstitious?
I say no, but like certain things, like I won't, if an elevator door is open, I won't go into it. I have to still press the button, and I have to close all closet doors before I go to sleep. So I guess in a way, even though in my mind it's not superstitious, it's just doing the right thing. So
Exactly. My father would say, don't put a hat on a bed. And I would say, well, you're so superstitious. And he's like, no, you just don't do that. That's
you're classy people.
what's the thing about elevators?
I don't know. I'm wondering if like in a past life something happened in an elevator, but I will not. If an elevator door is just waiting and open, I will not get into it. I don't trust it. I will literally go, and even if I have to like walk half all the way down the hall, I will press the button. And then I'll walk an elevator, but I just don't trust the open elevator.
Because it might like be the elevator to hell or something.
I'm not going to find out. I'm going to tell you that. I will never find out what happens.
Okay, we'll remember that now. Catriona, is your desk tidy or messy?
I can show you. I don't even have to tell you. Oh, can I show you?
Tidy.
Empty. Yeah. My desk is tidy. My car is so tidy. There is nothing in the center console. There is nothing in any of the door pockets. There's only a little packet of masks, some hand cream, and a pen in the glove box.
That is impressive.
So
if
tidy.
If I turn the screen, it would be shocking. But
my linen cupboard is graded, color-coded piles of towels with little lavender sashes on top.
Can you come over?
Brain, chaos. But yeah.
Your brain is chaos. I love that. Yeah. I can't wait to see your towels.
This conversation. What kind of pen is it? Because Catriona has bad taste in pens.
My favorite pen is in MoMA. It's a design classic.
Tell them what it is.
The Bic Crystal, a blue Bic Crystal. I've got 11 of them in a stand over there right now. It's in MoMA. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's the most basic pen that there could possibly be, right? Exactly. The globs ink on your fingers.
And it smells. If you can't treat yourself to a whole Sharpie, just a little sniff of
I think it's a gateway. I think this is a gateway. We'll just move right along, you guys.
Move on,
you guys talk about pens. Quickly tell us a book that you think that we all should read. Ben, what are you recommending? I know I can say this. What book are you recommending?
I think I told you this, but I recommend a lot of books. So I'm trying to remember, but I actually love the Keith Richards biography. I've gotten obsessed with rock and roll biographies recently, and especially like just totally extreme people who lived extreme lives that you can't believe they got out of it alive. And this book, Life by Keith Richards, was just, to me, a spectacular read. Once you get into it, it's just one jaw-dropping moment after another of this man's unbelievable life, which is still continuing. So yeah. I highly recommend.
I love that as a tagline: one jaw-dropping moment after another. Hard to resist that. Cara, what are you recommending?
I am recommending the Paris Library. I don't know if that's backwards. Yeah, it's by Janet Skesley and Charles. And I love this book because I know Janet, but she was a librarian at the American Library in Paris. And what I love about this is that Janet has a dual storyline where during the war in Paris, when the American Library was struggling to keep open, before the Americans didn't get into the war until December 1941. So from 1940 until then, there was a courageous woman, an American librarian at the American Library in Paris, who kept the doors open. And there's so much more to this book. Janet did meticulous research. The prose is beautiful. And incidentally, her first book, Midnight in Odessa, is set in the Ukraine. If we all, just so we all want to look at that one, I love that book. And it's also, there's a love story. People are put in difficult situations. It's Paris, there's Nazis, then we go to Montana.
Wonderful.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? Exactly. The Paris Library. That looks amazing. Kellye, Garrett, what are you recommending?
I'm recommending a book that comes out March 15th, which is Under Lock and Skeleton Key by Gigi Pondian. So I love this. Gigi is like, has just written so many amazing books. It's a lighter book. She describes it as a gothic mystery. If you know Gigi, she's won Anthony and Agatha Awards for her locked room short stories. And this is actually a locked room, impossible crime, full-length novel. It's about a magician who is disgraced and comes home to her family help with their business, which is they do secret compartments. And on the first job that she goes to, they find a body in the wall. And the thing is, even though the wall has not been opened in years, the body is new. So it's question, how did this new body get into this wall that has not been opened for 10, 15, 20 years? So it's just a great book. March 15th, definitely get it.
Fantastic. And I wanted you all to know that we will post all of these books in the chat. So if you're writing them down, that's great, but you don't need to write them down. We will post them for you with links. Catriona, what are you recommending?
I'm recommending Belinda Bauer's Exit. She's huge in the UK, a little bit less known here. It's about Felix Pink. He's 75. He's an exiteer. And that means he sits with people who are terminally ill and are choosing to die. And that's perfectly legal as long as the exiteers don't do anything. But this one guy knocks a canister of gas off his bedside table and the exiteer hands it to him. This is now murder. How could it be worse? It's the wrong guy. So it's really funny. And it's also got this very
Really
sweet
funny
romance. But it is, if you like a little bit of darkness in your humor, it's got a very sweet romance between Felix and his neighbor, Miss Knott, and also a brilliant, sickening for writers, brilliant mystery plot. Exit, Belinda Bauer.
That's great. Christopher Zagorski is agreeing for you, saying Belinda is so wonderful. And there is the list, you all, of the books that our authors tonight are recommending. Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed that taste of what a backroom session is like. But more fun comes immediately afterward. That's when the audience is broken up into 4 breakout rooms, and each author in turn visits each room. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because those relaxed face-to-face conversations between best-selling authors and readers are the hallmark of backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded, because what's said in the back room stays in the back room.